Hello everybody, Walter here. Welcome to episode 27 of my Oxygen Not Included Let's Play series with the Space Out 10 DLC. In the previous episode, we finally left our main asteroid and started a secondary colony on a neighboring asteroid, but there is still a lot to do, so let's jump back into the game and have a look. And we're back on Turbine. Now for today, my main goal is adding in the Great Hall, a logistics center, and working on taming those two geysers and vents down there. Which means that I'm going to need a couple materials over here. For one, let's start with the solids, which I can just move over via the setup over here. What I'm going to need are, for one, steel. About 6 tons should be enough. Then some gold amalgam. Let's say 4 tons. Plastic. About 10 tons. Then diamond. Again about 10 tons. Then some coal so I can generate some more power if needed. Finally ceramic. Let's actually go with 60 tons for that. And the last one I'm just going to fill with igneous rock for the various insulated tiles where I don't need ceramic. And obviously I need to open this up. Furthermore, I need liquids. And I already have this pipe here, which ultimately ends up on Turbine, feeding currently into the bath. So all I'm going to do is snip this off right here and connect it to this pipe down here, which goes up there. And then I'm just going to go straight over, up and up to here. I'll connect this with a couple bridges and totally forgot about the priority. Come on. Let's just wait a second until the saving is done and then I can increase the priority accordingly. So. Now, on the other side, I still need to deal with the water that is currently in the pipe. And for that, I'm just going to grab myself a couple liquid reservoirs, place them here. And connect at least 2 of those with the pipe, run them over there. The last one will be used for the liquids I'm actually going to move over later on. Finally, let's add a ladder going straight down here and a fire pole next to that and a couple digging orders so everything is actually reachable. And that looks like the last bit of water, so I can now start to snip off the connections here and connect here. And then on a Beno, I can start moving over first the liquid naphtha and then the petroleum. And let's have a look, how much petroleum do I have? Not that much. So let's say maybe, yeah, let's go with 3 tons. So 6 times the amount a liquid meter can measure at once should be well enough. Now a quick look at the solids. We are also almost done over here. This is good to see. And now while we're waiting on that, let's give our tube something more to do over here. For one, I want to get rid of this whole setup there. I also want to get rid of this one here because I need to actually build this a tiny bit lower. And yeah, let's start working on the Great Hall. So the first thing I need is a couple party phones on each end. And then in between the mess tables. And some decoration. And I don't have any reed fiber over here. Yeah, I'll have to move that over soon. Anyway, let's continue with a refrigerator in this spot. And yeah, that is pretty much all except for the decoration. We also have some aluminium ore now, which is also nice to see. And also over here I can put in a beginning of a floor. Just need to keep in mind that there will be a tamer in this spot over there. But besides of that, we are getting ahead quite a bit already. This is looking good. And for now, it's just waiting until the liquids have been moved over. For example, here I can now set up my second amount for the petroleum. So I have 1 ton currently on the way. So yeah, this is looking pretty good already. And there goes the last bit of petroleum. So let's now clean up the pipes again, which are over here. So let's get rid of these here and these here and all of that. Then I can also reconnect over here. Next up, let's have a look. Okay, the solids are all done. So I can reset the bins and turn on the lever here. Yep, and now everything is being moved over. One more thing I would like to do now is send one more dupe over, which is actually max. And with one more dupe over, I should make sure they get enough food, which means I need 0.5, not 0.4, 0.5 kilograms of surf and turf. Then let's teleport max over. And once that is done, we should automatically switch to the other asteroid. Yep, there we are. Now over here we have all of the petroleum in place. So I can switch off here, connect here. And now I can actually get rid of this whole setup here. And also this here. That way I have the content, which is at least the most important parts are the naphtha and the petroleum in the form of bottles lying around, which are easier to transport. Okay, that is looking good. Down here, obviously, they can't reach everything, so let's put in the rest of this floor, at least a bit more of the floor. I'm also going to dig down a bit more and dig out all of this here. Then over here, I'm going to put in a couple ladders and down here too. I'll have to deal with all of this liquid soon. Also this heat leak down there. I will also still need to activate the mini-pod. I gave the order at the end of the last episode, but in the intermediate time I rescinded that again. There is still that stuff up there. And yeah, now for now, let's just wait until this area has been cleared out properly so I can put in my logistics floor. So to start with, I'm going to grab a bottle empty and place it here. This is just temporary. Then I'm going to need an airflow tile there. The tile above needs to be removed. Then on the other side, I'm going to place an automatic dispenser right there. Then, with that in place, and this one here should also be done soon, I can start putting in some water. Just so that if anything gets in here that tries to off-gas, it won't be able. We also have our first hour acorn, which is nice to see. Anyway, for shipping next, let's grab an auto sweeper, which goes in this spot. Then on top of that, a chute. And next to that, a conveyor loader, which I'm going to place right here. This chute needs to be connected with the output up here. And the loader needs to be connected with the loader output over here. Which is one of the main reasons I have Max over here, since he can do all of that. This can go, this can also go. This one here I will leave in place until I have all of this here built. We also have already a decent amount of water in there, so I don't think we need any more. This now can go and be replaced with a automatic dispenser any second now. Just like so. And then we have some space for a coal generator on this side and on this side here. I'm also going to grab a smart battery, and where do I want to place this? Let's place this on the side here. Then, power. Let's run the power wires through the floor, so it looks a bit more hidden. Then we have the floor up here. This goes over there. Then we have the party phones, which need power. This goes over there, down there. We also should think about adding a couple deodorizers, since there is still a good amount of polluted oxygen floating around, and we have to deal with that at some point anyway. So let's just put those in place. And the mesh tiles below. And finally the power wire, which reminds me I will need some more refined metals here soon. But for now that should be still enough, I hope. Yep, that is looking quite decent. Then, before I forget it, some automation to connect the battery with the two coal generators. And the coal generators should actually be in place or in range of this sweeper here too. And the logistics center is more or less done. Last part is the settings. So these here are sweep only, everything priority 7. Copy this over. Then the refrigerator here is supposed to only contain the surf and turf, priority 8. Then finally we have this conveyor loader here, which will be priority 7, allow manual use. And will contain, let's have a look, it will contain the cooking ingredients, the edibles, and that way everything that is not put into the refrigerator is put back into my main base, into the freezer. Then we have the stuff to crush in the data tanks. Then I also want the liquefiables to be moved over. Then all of the organics. And that's pretty much all, except the seeds I also don't need anymore. Okay, that is all I want to move over. Then let's have a look. I already got rid of the chute over here and the loader over there, so that's all cleaned up. My tubes are also just waiting around, which means it's time to, for one, clean up this area here, and for the other, dig down a bit more here, so I can actually put in another floor or two and can then start working on the tamer over here. Okay, it's time to start taming the hydrogen vent over here. But first, I'm going to put in a couple liquid locks so I can get in there without destroying a vacuum. Then I think I have everything I need, so let's get building. First, I'm going to go with ceramic. Come on. So, ceramic up to this spot there. Then two there, another one there. Then the rest is igneous rock. Just going straight over, down, over, and down there. Up here. Up like so. Then window tiles here and here out of diamond, which is not important. I'm also going to need some more space, so let's get rid of those ladders here. Let's increase the priority for this window tile here, so my dupes won't get caught inside of this here accidentally. I might also want to add one more, let's say here. Let's increase the priority for this one too. Then I will need to get some petroleum down here, which goes through here, and also some water down here, so the bottle emptied there. Then let's start down here with the smart battery right there. Then next to that I need a gas pump out of gold amalgam. Then a high pressure gas vent down there. And a atmos sensor right there. Another one there. And the last one there, if I remember correctly. Now let's go to liquid vents. One there, one there. They connect through here. Then a radiant pipe. And then I can actually use a normal pipe all the way over there. Yeah, that looks good. Now I need another pump up here. And now I need some more automation. So let's start with a filter gate here, which is connected just straight through. Then down here I need an AND gate, which is placed in here. I also need a NOT gate right there. Then I'm just going to run this over here. This into this input, this into this input, and this one over there. This one here goes over and up there. I need also a bridge there. Then I need some more gas pipes. One straight down, then this one over, down, and then out. This is the actual output. And this one here goes up too. Then I need a bridge there. And wait, this is not placed exactly where I actually need it. This needs to go right there. Okay, that should be all of the usual stuff. Now I still need to get a vacuum in there, so let's place a temporary pump there. Let's connect this just like so. I also need some power before I forget about that. So this goes straight up and then over there. I will need some power over here, over there, and over there. And that looks pretty good already. So let's get all of this here built, and then I can put in the last few missing parts. And the pip kept wandering into the build, so I decided to add some pneumatic doors over here. Anyway, I also already added some petroleum here, a nice 7.7 kilograms per tile, which is by far enough. So now we have all of this in place. I can close this part off here. I can also add the temp shift plates. One will go here, and the second one would go up there. You know what? I might as well start digging out in the vent. This area here, so my dupe can analyze the vent. And then up here, let's say this area here. So it won't connect the two parts, but I can still start working or digging into here and building the temp shift plate. Yep, that sounds like a pretty decent idea. I also need 2 window tiles up here. And once all of these here are built, I only need to add 1 more insulated ceramic tile in here, and then 1 full bottle or 200 kilograms of water from the top. While this is going on, I can already start working with Max here on analyzing the hydrogen vent, and here you can already see my original plan. By just digging out this tiny amount here, this hydrogen vent here almost immediately overpressurized, and I don't have to deal with the 500 kilogram hot hydrogen broiling my dupe here. Once all of this is built, obviously I need to create a vacuum, and then I can remove this layer here, and then I just have to remove a bit of some minerals in there. So this is now in place. Now I need the water. And now I can grab myself another insulated tile, place it right there, and then close off the rest with insulated tiles. I just need to make sure this one here is built first though. That's pretty much all I need in here, except I still need the steam turbine out of gold, since I have most of that. And as you can see, I already turned on the pumps. I'm currently creating a vacuum in here. Once I have a vacuum there, I'm turning off this one. Then this one here can be turned on and create a vacuum. And once all of this here is evacuated, I can continue with finishing off this build. So we finally have a vacuum. I'm also putting in the last layer of water needed for the cooling of the generators at the top. But unfortunately, I noticed that I don't actually have a dupe here who can actually build the steam turbine, which is a bit annoying since I thought that Max could do this. Now I could give him the skills, but I think it's better to do this with a dedicated dupe. So Max goes back to the main asteroid. And who am I going to send back? I think I'm going with Ruby number 2. Yeah, that looks good. Then let's send them off. Over here I'm still waiting for more water, which comes drop by drop, it appears, since, well, I have a lot of stuff lying around from mopping up. How much water is this? Yeah, this is definitely enough, I would say. Yeah, okay, that's enough. So, and we have another tube coming. So, now, let's have a look. This one is being deconstructed. This water can be moved out. I don't need it in here. And the rest is pretty much done. So, I can work on the settings here. So, this one here needs to be above 1200. Then above 2100. then above 20,000. The filter gate is on 100 seconds. And this one here needs to be between 10 and 40%. So all of this is now set. I can also get rid of these two and the pipe and the wire here and there. This now also, let's increase the priority a bit. Then I can also start cleaning up this area down here. I'm basically done with all of this. So this can all go. I can also grab myself now the hydrogen generator, place it in here out of gold amalgam. And I'm going to place another one up there with a smart battery next to that. Conductive wire connecting everything up. And also some automation wire. Then I need some insulated pipes. Let's go with igneous rock. Going straight up there. And then I need to clean up a bit. So let's increase the priority for all of this here. This needs to be cleaned out ASAP. This is all in place. This is all built. This heats up slowly. This is looking very good. And yeah, once all of this here is cleaned out, I can put in the missing parts of the walls here. And the hydrogen tamer is finally up and running, which is very nice to see. Next up, let's set the battery here for 20 and I would say 95. And that way I should use up the hydrogen before I start using any coal. Just to make sure I'm not, well, for one, using more coal than I need, and for the other, I currently don't have set anything in place to deal with the carbon dioxide, so yeah. Anyway, next up, before I can start taming this geyser down here, I need to deal with the water, so let's just grab a pump. And the output is over here, so let's go down and then over and then over and down. Then for power, that I can grab from over here. And yeah, for now, let's just wait until this is built. But let's have a look what we can print out. Anything useful? Narcoleptic? Nope. Operating might be an idea. Research and rocketry? Iron gut. If I didn't have a pilot, I would go for Roland here. Do I need an operator right now? No, I don't really need an operator, but some aluminium ore might be a good idea. Some aluminium ore might be a really good idea, especially on the second asteroid, or my first asteroid to be more precise. I think I'm going for the aluminium ore here. Yeah, definitely. And some people should come by at some point and collect all of this here. Not sure why no one is working on that. Maybe I have too many dupes moved over, but whatever. So, let's get all of this here built first. And now while we're waiting on the pump, let's work in this area here. First, in case anything in here decides to melt, I'm putting some overflow mesh tiles to the side here and just going to continue this further down. Now, in this area here, I want to put in some pens for the plug slugs that are all over the place. And since each of those needs 12 tiles of space, I'm just going to make 12 tile pens. Just a critter top in the middle, and then some power wire hanging from the ceiling 2 down. Since those, when they try to sleep, will produce some power if they can find a power wire. And in the end, I had enough space for 8 pens. The last pens weren't big enough, so I decided to just put in some additional batteries for more power storage. So this is now all done. Now we are still waiting on all of this. It's getting ahead a bit, but it's taking its time. Anyway, let's have a look over here. I currently don't have any dupe who can actually wrangle, and I think it still takes a little while until this one here can recharge completely, so I can't currently get any ranger over. So I think the next step would be digging out this area here. Specifically, I want to dig out this building and get this heat leak here plugged ASAP, because Over here we have minus 50 degrees, and this here is currently at 0, but it's directly connected to my base, and I don't want to freeze out my dupes. So the digging is advancing quite nicely, but we have something to print out. So let's have a look if there is anything noteworthy in there. Tidding, digging, building, bottomless stomach, not really. Some more plastic, maybe. Pufflet, not really necessary in my opinion. Cooking, also not really necessary. There is one potential use for the pufflet though, so let's go over here. And let's actually start with this here. So I have collected some more copper, reed fiber, sand and igneous rock here to be brought over to my second base. So let's start up that one. And then let's get a pufflet printed out. And then I'm going to move this over via the corresponding command into this area here, where it's then going to get groomed for another achievement. Yeah, okay. Then let's have a look. How is this advancing? Yeah, we are getting ahead a bit. This is looking better than before, but it's still going to take a little while. And we have another geyser over there, so let's see what this is about. Come on. And my computer keeps stuttering around. I may have to get rid of all of the debris lying around. Anyway, an iron volcano. That is quite useful and will definitely get tamed in the near future. But for now, let's start digging out in this area, and while I'm at it, I might as well get rid of the unnecessary parts of this building here, so I can then finally put in an insulation layer down here. And the insulation layer is finally done. I can now also start to submit a bioscan to this door here and get down here. By the way, if you're wondering where all of this hydrogen is coming from, this is the Saturn critter trap behind there, which when it eats one of those bee tinies here, will actually produce hydrogen. But for now, let's have a look at this one here, because this should unlock our next achievement. So let's have a look. Ghost of Gravitas. Recover a database entry by inspecting facility ruins. Inspected a ruin. Perfect. Exactly what I was looking for. So, that is now all being done. I also already discovered the left edge of the map, which means that we now have the whole width visible to us, which means this is really one of the smaller asteroids. And you know what? I'm going to not dig out in the whole setup there. I'll leave that for the Tamer later on. Okay, so now let's have a look. Yep, that is advancing quite nicely, but still taking a little while. And we are currently moving over igneous rock, which means that we should have some reed fiber already in place. So let's have a look. Yeah, we have enough, so we can start with some decoration. So I'm going to grab myself a couple portraits, and then I'm just going to place them in there. And you know what? I'm just going to spam them more or less all over the place. Then some corner trim. I have granite, that is nice. Then some more corner trim. And then some aeropods. Right there. That is definitely enough decoration. I could also maybe turn those into private bedrooms. So I'm going to grab myself a couple metal blocks. And do I have enough? Yeah, I don't have enough gold. I'll leave them for now as barracks. But this here can definitely get a bit of a facelift. And there we go. One great hall for +6 moral. Even without any of the paintings actually painted, this was enough with just the aeropods in place. And I also reconsidered, I'm actually turning those here into proper bedrooms, since I only need decoration items, I don't need the metal blocks, so I'm going with the blank canvas, and I'm just going to put them, not in the middle there, but up there. And for now I'm just going to leave out the metal blocks, I'm just going to put in some corner trim. Like so. And then we still need the drywall in the background. And once the last piece of backwall is put in, we have now 4 private bedrooms. Very nice to see that. Now, let's have a quick look down here. We are still pumping, so this is not working out quite nice. Who hurt you? Ah, maybe it's a bit too cold for this one, I think. They don't like it as cool as it is over in this area here. Anyway, let's have a look at skills. Yeah, Ren has 2 skill points, so I can actually turn him into a rancher. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to turn him into a rancher. And then I'm going to put all of these plug slugs here directly into their pens down here. So that's a few cycles later, and a couple things have changed. For one, we have now 7 plug slugs, or X of those, inside of those pens here. For the other, I had to move the critter drop-offs to the side, since those plug slugs weren't able to actually sleep in the middle with the critter drop-off in the way. Which is something I didn't know before. I also added a couple of those planter boxes here with North Spout, but I also disabled those buildings. The reason is I was getting messages that the nosh beans were rotting all over the place, and I need at least a few of those for an achievement. So I, use this little trick here. If you plant them, they won't rot. And if you disable the building, you also won't use any fertilizer or similar. So that is a simple way to put them into stasis, basically. And here you can see them sleeping and producing power for free. Very nice to see that. I also did a bit of digging upwards, since I, needed to reach all of those. There are still a few more around at the top here, but I didn't want to dig that far, and especially this one here is in a whole lake of polluted water, and digging into that would be somewhat counterproductive right now. So, furthermore, I am getting quite ahead with the digging on the side here, so we are getting somewhere. But the main reason I stopped here is actually we got an achievement, and that is pulling back the veil. So we have now 80% plus uncovered of the main asteroid, which means that the digging over there should be pretty much done. Yeah, you can see the digging here is more or less done. In the intermediate time, I was also able to put in 2 insulated tiles here to plug the heat leak over here, which was the original reason we started digging into this direction here. But as you can see, the digging here is pretty much done, at least at this corner here. And over here we are already getting, basically into the oil biome, which means once this digging here is done, I think I'm going to put my dupes on sweeping orders and clean up all of this mess that is left behind. And wait, that doesn't look right. There was chlorine in there. Okay, something destroyed here. The liquid lock. I'll have to repair this at a later point. A bit unfortunate, but as I was saying, there is a lot of cleanup still to do. This here is also getting lower. This is nice to see. Yeah, there is still a lot to do on this asteroid still. But over here, let's have a look. This is still going to take a while, and yeah, I think this is not something I'll actually manage in this episode to finish with. So I think I'm going to stop the episode right here. And in the next episode, we are going to work on taming this hot polluted oxygen vent and maybe this iron volcano over there. And with that, we've reached the actual end of this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Please like, share, and comment if you did so. It really helps with the algorithm. Independent of that, I wish you a nice day, and well, see you.